Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to look at some essential Kayo daggers on Pearl. I wanted to make sure I played this map a few times before I put together a video, so I hope these daggers help you in the game. Let's jump right into this. The first one here is for art gallery, and in case your teammates are pushing through the middle and you have a split going to main and you want to be able to clear the spot for your teammates, just make sure it doesn't go through the arches because it'll hit too far back. So you want to make sure it's in this orange area. There's some room for error here, so it doesn't have to be precise, but you just want to like aim it up here, goes through the window and hits this back wall here. And what it does is it clears out and lets your teammate know if there's anybody in this art gallery pushing a little bit early. The second dagger is a one-way for early game aggression pre-round in case somebody's pushing up the stairs here. So what I'll do is I'll just line up here at the top of the stairs. There's lots of room for error. You just want to aim at this little line here. You see this line? Super easy. You just click and toss and it lands right on top of the arches, and it will detect if anybody is pushing up the stairs early game. This will make sure to let you know, hey, there's somebody pushing up. The third dagger is in the same exact spot. It's at the top of these stairs. Once again, it's a really good spot, especially because the A site is just right in front of you here. It's pretty close. And so you see this little statue looking thing. You just want to aim at the top part here where the eye meets, and then you click your dagger. This goes all the way to the back of the site and hits the wall. So it's just this little eye, and toss it right away, especially if I'm playing like Sentinel and you know that maybe they got like a chamber on the side here. It clears out the full back site. And then the fourth dagger here is for the right side. It's going to do a similar thing, which is going to clear out any early game aggression, anybody pushing the stairs, but this is going to be a more accurate dagger to the right to clear out this little area over here. A dagger here will clear out this right side and give you some accurate information in case anybody's camping to the right there. But this is really nice to just clear that angle, so I'll just like toss it right here. You can do it early game, or once you start going into attacking mode, I'll just toss it right here. If no one's there, it's great. I don't have to clear this right corner. So finally, if you have another initiator on your team and you have a dagger still, and maybe they've used their arrow or something, what I like to do is I like to just throw it up into this balcony. This clears out in case anybody's playing any far back aggression. This is a very popular spot, this off angle here. And so it clears out to let you know, hey, there's going to be some people who are playing some deep spots on CT, whether they're like hiding here, they're playing off their utility. Not much for middle, just because it's really close cornered. You can't really do any lineups to the other sites. So what I'll just do is I'll just aim at this corner, especially when I'm pushing through the window here. Or if I get a chance to go through here, I'll just post it into this corner here to clear out these close angles. And so dagger 1 is for the doors, dagger 2 is in the corner. And the reason why I'm throwing them into the corners is because it just gathers a lot of information, because this map has so many turns and angles. It gathers a ton of information for you. All right, so the first one we're going to take a look at is a lineup for on-site from this corner here in the view entrance. And this is going to be a pre-round lineup. It doesn't have to be super accurate, but there is an area in which you want to make sure it hits. So if you look at my UI here, I'm going to zoom in. So if you look at the flashbang and these like antennas on top of the roof, you just want to make sure it's just like close to the right here and it's touching. So there's room for error, as I said. You toss it over and this lands right here in the center of sight, but mainly what you want to do is you want to clear up these long corners. So dagger number 2 is once you've already cleared screens and you've gotten past this lane and you want to, and say for example you still have your dagger and you want to put something onto site, and this clears off the right corners when you're pushing through. So you just want to aim at this tree here on top and throw it through these cracks here. And so what this does is it's a really accurate dagger for the tower and for the right side here. So it lets you know if anybody's playing in this little mid area, but also in these close corners here when you start attacking onto the site. So many things that you can do, because especially on this long angle, there's so many areas. Now the defenders can actually get to this spot pre-round, and so what you want to do if you want to use your dagger here to clear this corner, especially if somebody's been playing it, you can use a dagger to throw it here. You can throw a dagger here on this billboard. You can also throw it up against this wall to clear out the back, or you can just throw it up right here at this house to clear out close right corners. Also a really good one as well. All right, so before we go into the defenders, I want to show a quick mechanic that I learned to improvise knives and daggers as you're rotating, as you're transitioning. I learned this as I was playing quite a few games. So I like to call this the big fish tank, because it looks like we're in a fish tank underwater, like we're in Atlantis. So if you notice there's just like this pattern here, it's really good for improvising dagger lineups. So say for example, you and your team are rotating from B to A and you're coming through. Now what I've learned is if you use this as a marker, especially as you're rotating, this, and you line up your UI. So I'll zoom in here. If you line up your UI just generally around the top part of the pattern and you toss it into a general vicinity of an area, it will go about halfway across the map. So if I were to throw it over here, it would probably land over here, and if I were to throw it to A, it would land somewhere over there. So especially when you're rotating, and I've done this, I'll share a clip here. So in this clip, you can see we were pushing B and I'm rotating to A, but Chamber's still on B. And so what I do is I improvise a quick dagger. I'm gonna pause it right here so you can see what the lineup is, and then I book it to A. Now the dagger lands on B and I'm already on A. The people that I was playing with, now they were really surprised that I actually had a lineup throw a fake dagger on B as I was already booking it to A. So let's jump back into the tutorial. Stack A with your teammates and you can hold mid. So what you do is you just line up into this box in front of the newsstand here. Now this is a very accurate lineup, so you just have to look here. I'm going to zoom in. You just line up your UI with this little dot under the balcony here. You see that? So I'm going to zoom in. You see, hit as much as possible here at B. And it will give your teammate information on if anybody's pushing. So it hits right here at the top of this little nice little patio where these two people are having like a cup of tea. It hits right here. Now, especially when the wall comes down, people are going to start pushing in here because this is generally a very safe area. They can set up executes here. Now, the second dagger you can do when you're playing on B or if you're playing in the middle. But I just want to show a little bit of the map and why this is so important. This pink wall here, this big building with the two windows here, this is visible from middle. Right here, if you play here, I'll show you what that looks like, what a dagger looks like there. Or if you're playing from here in the beginning of the round. And so this wall is the entrance of the other side of B. So look at that. So once you learn this map a little bit more and I played it and I realized that, hey, this is the same wall, it makes an early game dagger really easy. So in the beginning of your round, I'll do is I'll just toss it right here. It clears out this entire steps, and in case there's anybody pushing here, you'll know immediately once the round starts. You can also do that same dagger in the middle. So if you're playing close here, what I'll do is I will toss a dagger either right at this little light here and just toss it over so it lands on that wall. And it does the same exact thing. It clears out the stairs for your teammate to know. And finally, I have a couple of daggers when you're playing on site. Say, for example, you want to play a little slower, so you want to take this off angle here or something. If once they start executing, I'll throw like a dagger here, or I'll throw a deep one here at the door. It clears up any ability to execute, especially if they're timing their stuff really quickly. I'll make sure to like throw the dagger out far, and then I'll take like an off angle or something like that. All right, so first we're going to take a look at the A art gallery. There's two daggers that you can throw in here. The first one here is for middle at the B shops. So what I'll do when the wall drops is I'll just aim it at this little grassy knoll, and I'll toss it over. What this does is it reveals anybody who might be pushing into the middle from this side of the mid. Then the second dagger in art is at this little broom. What's nice is that the center of this actually covers all of this like A main area. And so what it does is it prevents any early game aggression, or if they're about to execute, you can toss this dagger and you can hear the noises. Especially in the beginning, there's just so much information you can gather if they start running here, if you're playing deep inside. And so if you hear a bunch of running, I'll just toss it right away. And then another dagger that I have is if you want to play deeper onto site and use this HUD as protection. It's really great for like one-way flashes to throw over. What you want to do is just hug this back wall. There's a lot of room for error, so it's like anywhere you can kind of strafe around it. But you just want to make sure you're aiming at this yellow light, but aim high, like just a little bit above where this roof is, where this yellow light. Kind of toss it over. So you want to make sure it clears this wall and it hits this like tan background here. It's not killable, and it also gives you a lot of information on any early game aggression if anybody's pushing this lane, and you can like plan to set up how you want to flash. If you're playing even deeper here in the flowers area and you want to play this off angle and people are pushing into the site, you want to just aim up against this wall here, because this wall here, as we noted in the B side, is the same wall over here. And so this will be great for anybody who is an initiator, like maybe a Sky or a Selva droning through. You just want to tag the dagger right onto this wall here, clears up the entire left side, especially if you know that they're going to start executing. Boom, hit this dagger, kills the initiation. The duelists are kind of left out in here in the yellow bin. And then the last error I have is actually a lineup for A. So if you want to stack on B in the middle here, what you want to do is you just sit in this corner here. You aim up and you align your flash dagger with this little lamppost here. So if you look at this lamppost, you just line up your flashbang as if it was the light within the flash. So you toss it up, and this lands right into an unkillable spot in this little divot for A, and it lets you know if anybody's pushing up A so you can stack on B. All right, so my final thoughts on Pearl are that there's so many spots that the Dagger is incredibly effective. And so I couldn't really make one video pertaining to all the spots that I think are really effective. So I think what I'll do is I'll create a how to attack on Pearl, which will go even in more depth as to why these Daggers are helpful and how you can play off of it when you execute on site. I hope this video was helpful for you to maybe get a little bit more confidence about where you can throw your Daggers, knowing the type of information you can get and how you can help support your team. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video.